I'm Jason.
I'm Adam.
And I'm usually Dave from the Digital Soup Podcast.
A proud member of the Gonna Geek Network, just like the show you're listening to now.
The opinions expressed are those of each individual. Check out all the other podcasts
at GonnaGeek.com and get ready because geekiness begins in 3,
2,
1.
Stand by for a brand new episode of All Things Good and Nerdy.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode 317 of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. The one where I remembered 3 seconds before I had to transition the cameras over to the main view to turn off the pre-show scroll at the bottom of the page. 3 seconds, guys. It makes a world of difference.
That's a little thing.
You did it. That's all that matters.
I see what you're saying there. I was assuming we'd get some other... I thought there'd be some other joke when I said 3 seconds. I thought it was going to be like some kind of sexual prowess joke or something. I'm kind of disappointed.
Nah, that's low-hanging fruit. I ain't going to go for that. Just like political humor.
I don't want to do political humor just because of the world
I
we
like
live in.
low-hanging fruit.
Wait. I thought we were going for a joke there, and I was kind of trying to figure out what it was. It didn't work. It didn't work. So, welcome to episode 317. This is recorded live on Sunday, June 24th, 2018. For those that are not familiar, remember Naki is on hiatus, or is on a break rather, until sometime in September probably. She will be back
on a
then.
bald white man vacation.
This is the bald bearded white man brotherhood or something like that. I don't know.
Well, I mean, only some of us are bald.
So we're going to call it the bearded brotherhood. Bearded brotherhood. That works because we've all got beards.
Like the Brotherhood of Mutants, right?
Sure. Who do you?
We're all
be?
misunderstood.
Do you want to be Magneto?
No, I'll be Toad.
You're gonna be Toad. You know what the difference is between a Toad and anyone else when they get struck by lightning?
They got a longer tongue.
Bad script writing.
Bad script writing, exactly.
I like what I said better.
That's the worst line ever. I'll be honest.
I don't know about ever. I mean, it is really bad, but I mean, I'm sure there's worse lines.
Name me some lines that are worse. This is your challenge.
Half the script in 50 Shades of Grey.
There's no script in 50 Shades of Grey, Will.
There was a book. They had to do something with it.
Yeah, they kind of flipped through it and then shot shit.
So you know what? I Googled terrible movie lines, and the first thing that comes up in this BuzzFeed list, yes, I went to a BuzzFeed list, was when Christian Grey opened up about how many shades of fucked up he is in 50 Shades of Grey. So, Willie, that works. He had a line of, quote, I'm 50 shades of fucked up. I'm going to accept it.
Thank you. I try. I'll accept this award. I mean, it's hard to think. I mean, I'm finally back in town from California.
Well, we're glad you made it back. Do you want some other terrible movie lines? Do you want to talk more about your California trip?
Oh, God, yeah, I was really in California. Man, it was, whoo, buddy. It was hot out there. Yeah, I was really in California.
Willie, what was your favorite part about being at E3?
The stuff. The swag.
This is captivating. Captivating. And for people who are wondering what we're talking about, if you missed the show last week, Willie Nelson, our very own intrepid reporter, had a live report from the Sony event at E3.
All right. Stop the cast. I can't lie no more. I wasn't in California. I was being lazy at riding roller coasters.
What, you mean the ambient crowd noise I found that I played forward and backwards and looped every 1 minute didn't give it away in last week's episode?
Oh, you mean the one I asked you to do?
Exactly.
I thought it was clever.
You know what? It worked. I found a public domain shopping mall crowd noise thing and mixed it down low enough that it didn't come across too bad. But it was a pain in the ass because it was 30 seconds long. So to make it longer, I played it forwards and I played it backwards. And then I just kept pasting versions of it into your clip.
I didn't even notice it was a 30-second clip.
There were people speaking in tongues every 30 seconds, it sounded like.
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, I love when the chat room's full. We all know Willie doesn't get out of his house unless it's to buy a Christmas tree, of course.
Jeez, or to body slam or suplex it off my balcony.
I really wish there was video of you suplexing this tree off your balcony.
Yeah, I do too. Although all the sap was horrible.
All right, so I never asked this really. The tree went up in what, like December for Christmas?
Yeah, it sounds about right.
When-
I mean, I would hope so.
Roughly when did you body slam it off the porch? How long was it sitting there? Was this like February, March time frame, if I remember right?
You think I remember?
I don't know. I thought you might. I mean, I would imagine that body slamming a tree off of your back porch would be
Suplexing.
suplexing, excuse me, would be something you would sort of
One-handed
remember.
suplexing a tree. Come on, man. Give me the credit I deserve. I went around it. I grabbed it from the base, and then I lifted it up and threw it away. You figure out what we're talking about here.
Oh dear. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone. This is not what I intended. I intended this to be a fun little anecdote about how Willie threw a tree off his back porch.
But do you know what the best part about last week was?
What was the best part about last week?
So I went to Carowinds, right at the North Carolina South Carolina border.
So,
It's literally you step on one side, you're in North Carolina. You step on the other side, you're in South Carolina.
so
Jesus
what is
Christ, taxes
Carowinds?
were terrible on one side.
For those of us that don't know, what is that?
It's an amusement park with roller coasters.
Ooh, so, all right, before we get into the news, give us your trip report. Not the E3 one, no one cares about that. That's played out. Tell us all about your wild roller coaster adventure. What did you do? Did you throw up?
Oh, no. I mean, I did feel nauseous. There wasn't nothing because of that, though. I think it was because of something else. But here's the thing, though. Let me start it out. So we went on Father's Day. It was not busy at all. There was no lines. I remember going in, like, oh, they're selling fast passes. I wonder how much that is. Maybe we should get it. Let me see how this is before I decide to even think about it. We waited maybe up 10 minutes for one ride, and that's only because we wanted to be up front, so we had to wait for that little bit of line because we want to be in the front one, in the front cart.
Well, it's not bad. 10-minute wait. That's, in fact, pretty great.
And then not only this, the two friends we went with, they got gold season passes, which means they could get in 6 friends each for like a discounted price.
Nice.
Now usually it's about like $10 off, like 45 or something like that. No, because this was the last day they were doing it, because I guess they do different prices for like, the seasonal type thing. Today, that Sunday was the last day. We got in for $24.21 or something like that.
You can't beat that.
Nice. Jesus Christ, thank you. And so that much for that little ride waiting. We were in everything. And then this, I forgot, because it's been like 13, 14 years since I rode a roller coaster. I'm not sure if they did this last time, but I don't remember the free falling in a roller coaster.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember that. I remember it was it holds you down there. Like, I know we went down the one called the Intimidator, named after Dale Earnhardt. Yeah, that thing, that was the first one we went on. I was like, oh God, that freaked me out. That free fall at first. And then we went on to one that's like this, like near the end, we went on one for like 5 times straight because there was no line. Called the Fury 365, I think it was called that, because that's how high it is. Or is it 325? I can't remember. There's some numbers at the end of it, but it's like 6th in the nation, like in height and speed. That thing went 95 miles an hour.
Damn.
Yeah, that shit was fucking intense. And that one, you know how you slowly go up, the first little, that thing, no, that went, you were going up it. Sound effects are for free.
Free sound effects? I appreciate that. So which was the best coaster then?
Oh, that Fury, the one I just mentioned.
How many times did you get to ride it?
I think we went on it 5 times. It kind of merges all together.
Did this one have any of those wacky photos they take of you while you're on the roller coaster?
Most of them did, and yeah, I learned where the camera was, so I started doing some funny faces.
I'm just hoping you didn't flash it.
I was too busy holding on
For dear life.
be able to do that.
Because all I can imagine is just a scene where Willie's got his shirt pulled up and it's like straight Cable Guy style.
if I could, if I would felt safe enough to do that, I mean, I probably was, but if I felt safe enough to do that, I probably could have. But we were in the very front for like the last 2 times we did that, and the wind was trying to raise my shirt up from the back, like it was going, behind you, like
That's
you're trying
free
to
air
hold
conditioning.
forward. Yeah, it felt. There was not a goddamn cloud in sight. I got sunburned a little bit.
You can take your sunscreen.
I'd use it for the top of my head.
You gotta get the dome.
Definitely
at
did for the
least.
top, and I didn't get my forehead all that well, or the top of my ears, because now that was starting to peel.
It's okay. We can't tell. You're safe.
Thank you.
We don't know.
I hope you could start telling something from there.
I don't know what that means, so I'm just gonna power through and be like, "Hey, glad you enjoyed your time riding roller coasters.
Yeah.
When are you going back?"
Oh, I don't know. I mean, another 14 years.
We'll
No,
take
no,
'em.
no. But here's the best part. My friend Hannah, I don't know what she was thinking, but she did this 3 times. As the thing started going, she only did this for the Fury, the fucking worst one to do this for. She started taking a Snapchat video as it was going up and through the rest of the ride. It worked the first. She didn't lose her phone at all, though. That was the crazy part.
That is
I'd
crazy.
be too afraid to hit one of those corners and you just chuck your phone. Like that would be bad.
That's what
Yeah,
I
I
thought
think-
when he was telling the story, that this was going to be all about someone who lost their phone. And for those of you in the chat room, I just dropped a link to the Fury 325 that Willie's talking about.
I knew it had
Well,
some
the hell-
numbers there.
To hell with lost a phone, killed a person in the audience that was in a line for another roller coaster because they threw their phone off a roller coaster doing 90 miles an hour.
Yeah, I think that one actually goes through North Carolina and South Carolina because it is one of the longest ones too.
Let's see. Here we go. Here's some information on it for those of you guys that might be roller coaster fans. It has a max height of 325 feet up. It has a max drop of 320 feet. The length of the track is 6,602 feet. And the max speed is 95 miles an hour.
You felt it in that first car.
That's damn fast for a roller coaster.
That's
Jeez.
damn fast.
And there was no line for it except for like twice. And that was maybe like a 5-minute wait at most.
That's interesting. Due to the height, the park had to receive approval from the FAA to build the attraction, being that Charlotte Douglas International Airport is in close proximity.
And I will say there is one part where you go through like the little turn, as you go into it. One of those fucking other like poles, big metal steel rails, and you hold it up in place, comes awfully fucking close. It looks like I'm gonna hit my head. So every time felt like I had to duck. I'm sure it's nowhere near unless I was like 14 feet tall, but
It
it
says
looked
here
like it was coming at you.
that the max height for a rider allowed is 54 inches. If you are taller
Max?
than that, that's what it says. Height maybe maybe that's the low end. I'm sorry. It just says
Yeah,
height
that has to
restriction.
be low.
Yeah, I
That
just
has to
misread
be
it. I'm
minimum.
sorry. That's my fault. I
That's
misread
less
it.
than 6 feet.
And hey, they push through 1,470 riders per hour. So that gives you an
Wow.
idea of how fast that might be.
Still, the best part was no lines. That was the best part about all day. Thank you, Father's Day, for being a day where no one wants to go to an amusement park.
And if you guys really want to see it, there are YouTube videos of people basically wearing GoPros on their chest in the front row. You go put on your VR goggles and go watch this Fury 325 POV video, and I
Pussies.
bet you'll throw up.
Bunch of pussies. Go grab your phone and take a video. Hold it in your hand like a man. Or like a Hannah, like she did.
Well,
I was
in
gonna
a lot of
wasn't
cases-
it a girl that did it, so it wasn't like a man?
They'll get mad at you.
like a Hannah.
They'll get mad at you if you try and get your phone out. Like, what is it? At the Stratosphere Casino in Vegas, that's the one that looks like the Space Needle. There's one of those drop rides on the top of the needle, and they point blank tell you, like, don't get your phone out. Because I was riding the strip side of it so that you could see the Vegas Strip, and I really wanted to take a photo as I was at the top of the drop. But they're like, no, you can't do that. Because if you lose that phone, someone will die. And I was like, yeah, it makes sense.
They
Makes
didn't
sense.
care. I'm sure they saw it too. No one cared. That's the weird thing.
Try to think. I don't think I've ridden a roller coaster since '98.
Most of the roller coaster is like in the corner, so it doesn't actually go around any like where people are. But there is one part where it does go over twice because it comes back around. It goes over like the main entrance where everyone's coming in, like before they buy a ticket. Like there's a bridge there that it goes over. and then it loops back around and it swings underneath the bridge. So
Interesting.
you got people standing there like looking like, oh shit, god damn.
As long as they're not throwing shit at you, I guess.
Yeah, well, they do have a lot of bars there and like extra
Okay.
bars for people to not throw things.
Bars and netting and things like that. But regardless, Willie, we're glad you had fun. We're glad you made it back. You had a
Back
busy
from California.
travel. Back from California and the amusement park. You had a busy week.
You goddamn right.
So are you going back to E3 next year?
I'm always gonna be there, and
In
I don't know how to end this. I wasn't
Yeah.
there. I can't lie no
Oh,
more.
come on, just keep doubling down.
I'm sorry, Don. I'm sorry. I feel terrible.
We could have doubled down on this for weeks to go. It could have been a gag, but no.
But did you guys see Ghost of Tsushima? That was the best one.
No. Marvel.
Don't even know what
Spider-Man
those
was.
words mean.
It's Sucker Punch. You love Sucker Punch, Bachman.
What, the poorly made movie?
No, Sucker Punch. The developer. They made Infamous.
Oh, the company. Oh, okay.
Yeah, this
Yeah, I
is
like
their
that
next
company.
game. This is their next game. This is like you're playing a samurai movie, man.
Well, I've got 9 of their other games to finish first, so I won't be getting that anytime soon.
It's not. I can't. I
have
don't
a
think it's
point.
coming out till next year.
I haven't finished my playthrough of Prototype on PS3, so I still got Prototype 2, Infamous 2. Bitch, I ain't finished Skylanders, and I still have Skylanders Giants in a box I ain't even opened yet. I
Wait,
got
is that-
plenty of games.
Are you talking about the Toys to Life one?
That is correct.
Yeah, where the little toys go on the little platform.
How many of those do you have?
From the original game, I've got like 30.
I was about to ask as many as pop vinyls you have.
Oh no, they didn't make that many Skylanders. Well, they might
Maybe-
have by now.
Maybe
'Cause-
just the villains.
Maybe because they've done like 7 versions of Skylanders now. Because there's Swap Force and Drag Racers or whatever the fuck they were called.
How easy was it to actually find the actual Spyro Skylander toy?
They came with the first game.
I did. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah, if you got the original first Skylanders, at least on PS3, I don't know about on the other systems, but I think you got 2 Skylanders to start with, and Spyro was one of them.
I just don't like that you actually have to pay money to get the platinum trophy.
I didn't know that. That sucks.
Yeah, or I guess every achievement.
Yeah. Well, to get every achievement, yeah, you have to unlock every character. So
Well, I don't
That
think you
would-
have to unlock it. I think you have to do certain things with certain characters, and only some of them, only the certain toys can do some of the things. I think is what it is.
well, yeah, you can't play a character unless you own the figure.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
But yeah, you can borrow them from people too. So
I don't think you have to have all of them. Aren't they like in categories? Like this one uses fire powers, this one uses ice, or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
they are in categories, but if I'm trying to remember, I think a lot of the trophies were based on individual characters. So it wasn't necessarily do something with a fire character. It would be do something with like Lava Dog.
That's even worse.
It might be. I haven't played it in a long time. I don't remember. But yeah, my buddy, his kid loved it, or both of my friends, their sons loved it. So they were both getting them, and I was getting them at the same time. And then they'd come over and play. They'd bring the figures that I didn't have, and so the kids would play on my system because it's one of those ones where you could just take your characters and go play wherever. And so then what I'd bring my characters over for them to use, and so you could use characters that you didn't own. You just had to have the toy to put on the platform. So
Most expensive platinum to have.
it was a hell of a design. I mean, it's like some Pokemon shit for designing a game. We're gonna make you have to buy 80 toys to play everything in this game. Like,
And then
That's genius.
everything did it because you had Disney doing it, you had
Well, Disney's now closed doing
Nintendo
that.
doing it. Yeah, well, it's weird.
But you know, the one I did want to get and I never did. I wonder if I can find them all really cheap now. Is the Lego Dimensions.
Yeah, the Iron Closeout.
I mean, cause that seem like a lot of fun.
If
Because I
you've
mean,
got a Toys
all the
R Us
different
near you
properties.
right now, since Toys R Us, at least mine, basically
There is.
has like less than a week left. They still had a bunch of Lego Dimensions stuff, and it was like 70% off.
yeah, and each one of those is cool because each one is a little tiny Lego set that costs as much as a Lego set, anyways.
Yeah.
But then you also get the game portion. So
I got the fiance of the Doctor Who ones like a couple years back just because she loves Doctor Who. I was like, we'll never get the game, but this gives you a Dalek and the Doctor and something else. I was like, here you go, enjoy. But the
Yeah, from
bitch
what
of it is, You don't get instructions in the box because they expect you to follow the instructions in game to show you how to build it.
You literally took the words out of my mouth. That's what I was going to say.
I
They show
read
you
your
how
mind.
to build.
It's scary.
Are you sure you want to do that?
I don't want to do that because there's a constant track of just this.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. What am I thinking of right now?
Boobs.
You got it right. For real. That's not even a joke.
Oh, come on.
It's not like that was hard.
Come on. Anytime it's like, what's Willie thinking? I'm going to go, boobs.
But I am also going to deduct points because you should have said bouncing as well.
I'm sorry. Was that not atomically correct enough for you?
No, it wasn't. And to be quite frank here, I didn't even know I missaid that either until I was like, why is this titled this? And I listened to it. I was like, oh, son of a bitch.
Atomically incorrect, Willie.
Well, you know what I was saying.
Thank you, Sailor Poland. I'd almost forgotten until you brought it up in the chat room. I went, oh, yeah, we were going to make fun of that. And then I forgot.
You know, Sailor Poland, you can eat a dick.
Hey now. You be nice to our chat room. That's bullshit.
Hey, they got to be nice to me first.
No, they don't. We put ourselves out on the internet to be mocked and made fun of. That's the beauty of internet television shows, for lack of a better term.
Fine. Sailor Poland, get that dick off the stove. You don't have to eat it anymore.
All right, then. Well, thank you for being nicer, Willie. I don't know. Let's just go and do the news. What do you say? News time?
Do it.
Live from the Atgn studios on the internet, it's the news of the week.
That's right. When you hear that catchy tune, it means it's time for the Atgn crew to recap what we think is the news of the week. That is the geeky and nerdy things that interest us the most. That happen.
Catchy? Really catchy?
It was free. So, I mean, how about this? When you hear that free tune that there's like 6,000 other podcasts that use.
Isn't that your voice, though, too?
I did voiceover work over it, yes.
So you're like a professional.
I am not a professional. If you want to re-record the audio for me, I will gladly mix it with that sound.
If
Yeah,
you
you
want to
didn't get
hire
paid
me to
for it.
redo it, I will be glad to do
You've
so.
got to do it in your Prospector Willie voice, though.
No.
You got it.
No.
Anything for you, Chris.
Either that or your Australian accent, because it's pretty great, too.
Oi.
No.
Is that all it is anymore? You just go oi like AC/DC?
I'll do it quicker than a dango steal my little brother when I was free.
This is amazing. I think we found a new game. It's called Give Willie Another Accent to Do, and we just keep going.
I love this game. Let's do it.
There's no way this backfires on us whatsoever. No way.
I mean, I'm waiting for it.
Do we really want to do this? Okay, Willie, I want your authentic Canadian accent.
Regular Canadian or French Canadian?
Do both.
At the same time?
Back and forth. You're having a conversation between two people. One's French Canadian, one's regular Canadian.
So, hey, you want some of that poutine over there? That was terrible. No, I don't. I do not think I want that poutine over there.
What the shit was
I
that?
tried to sound like Wing. I did my best Wing impersonation. It was terrible. I made sure not to pronounce an H.
Well, I mean, I admire your dedication to not saying H's. That entertains.
You have to admit that was close to Wing, though. Whoa!
Nobody has to admit that.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Wing would appreciate it.
Woody.
I mean, I would hope so. He seems like a great guy. I like talking to him.
All right, that's fair. That's
He
fair.
had lots of great stories.
So, Willie, I appreciate your accents there. Your reward is you get to start with your news story.
Well, there was a actor named Tom Holland. I'm sure it's short for Thomas Holland. Who I'm sure Marvel approved this, you guys, since you guys were thinking, oh no, Marvel brass are going to come down on him. Who revealed the title, revealed the title of the next Spider-Man movie, as he was saying, "Oh, I'm reading the script," and he shows a little iPad there, which I'm guessing that's how he reads the script, and it said Spider-Man: Far From Home. So I'm guessing Spider-Man, it's not going to keep up with the homecoming, junior prom, and senior prom thing, which a lot of people were thinking about. They're going to keep with the home
Wait. You mean Spider-Man's alive? I thought he was dead.
Spider-Man 2 doesn't come out until after Avengers
yeah,
4.
For people just listening, I'm giving Chris a dead, cold stone face. Like, really? Like he's not coming back?
Like a Cold Stone Creamery face.
I don't know what that
I like ice cream.
So you're saying, Chris, you like my face?
Well, it's all right, I guess.
Ladies, I'm sorry if you're lactose intolerant.
All right, so Spider-Man Far From Home. Do we expect that's the real thing, or do we expect it to be a code name, or do we even care? We just want another Spider-Man movie.
I think I'm just happy that it's not called Spider-Man Junior Prom, because I was afraid they really were going to go with dance themes and
Dance thing? Oh,
What if it-
school dance themes. Yeah,
A dance. I got you.
as funny as those could have been, I mean, like Homecoming was the perfect title for that movie, with Sony going into working with Marvel and it being Spider-Man back with Marvel Studios. But yeah, if they'd have gone forward with like if the second movie was City Hawkins and the third movie was Senior Prom, like it would have been awful.
I don't know, City Hawk, because that would have been hilarious.
I don't know. All I'd know is I'd much rather watch Spider-Man movies than the upcoming Venom movie. Looks like poop. Total poop.
What? Venom does look like really running.
Okay, so the movie itself looks bad. Let me rephrase to that.
Yeah, it makes no sense at all. And they can't even say the word of what it is right in the movie.
Symbiote.
Yeah, the chick that thinks it's made out of oats. I don't know what her fucking problem is.
The symbiote.
So not Disney. Sony's got all this stuff going on with Spider-Man. I only really care about the one they've teamed with Marvel on. Like, I didn't really care much about the Black Panther and Silver Sable one, which is tabled indefinitely. They announced they're doing a Silk movie about Cindy Moon. I'm sort of interested in that, but I don't trust them not to screw it up.
They need to slow down with this shit is what they need to do.
Well,
I mean, that CGI movie coming out, that was okay.
That looks
but then the
pretty cool.
Venom movie, I was like, oh, God, no.
All I know is that I've never not enjoyed Tom Hardy, so I'll watch it.
Now, if they weren't releasing this Venom movie, and then I saw this release for this movie, of the new Spider-Man movie, this would make me think the Venom suit was coming, because Far From Home kind of sounds like, the Secret War. Was it Secret Wars? There's two of them, and I can't fucking keep them up, which one's which, because there's a fucking S in between them. The first one in the 80s, right? Where
The action figure sales one, yes.
Which one was it? S or without an S?
That was S, I think. I don't know. Let me do some Googling.
Bachman, I thought you would know this.
Secret War.
Wait, what?
Secret
one
Wars
where-
was the 80s.
Yeah, where all the was it the not the Watcher, was the guy that took them all.
The Beyond.
The
put 'em on a
Beyonder.
plane. The Beyond, that's right. Yeah, put them all on the
Secret
plane.
Wars 1 and 2.
Yeah, so that sounds like that's where they would go, because Far From Home. Maybe when they got resurrected, they were all on a planet. Ooh, and they all had to fight it out.
Maybe Spider-Man's still stuck in space.
I mean, that would be something, wouldn't it?
I mean, yeah, but I assume that's not going to stick. I assume it's going to be some kind of globe-trotting adventure kind of thing.
Yeah, because it can't be like the end of Avengers 4 can't be Tony Stark, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, and the Guardians all alive on Titan, and they just have to get home, because that wouldn't be a Spider-Man movie. Like that wouldn't work. So yeah, that part has to be resolved. So yeah, I would think Chris is more right. It has to be something where it's globe-trotting.
Now, I do want to mention this. I'm a little disappointed in Infinity War, because I was kind of hoping to see the react, like what's going on with Aunt May, since she said what the at the very end. I wanted to see like how's she feeling about it now. I was kind of curious.
I'm
just gotta wait until the next movie.
I'm curious whether she got dusted or not. They seem to indicate that she didn't get dusted at the end of Infinity War. So Tony's got to come back and tell her nephew's dead.
So she sees everyone getting dust, and she says, you know what? I feel all right. The opposite. I don't feel so good. I feel all right. I think I'm going to go to the strip club and dance for Mickey Rourke.
I see what he did there. Is this strip club called Medieval Titties?
Marissa Tomei, you will always have a job as a special appearance at Medieval Titties.
All right, then. So we talked about the MCU. Let's keep going with the MCU. You guys might know Ant-Man the Wasp in North America comes out shortly. If you're in England and you're in Europe, you have to wait until August because they're afraid the World Cup would distract you from it. And what's really going to happen is everyone there is just going to pirate the movie from here. But that's neither here nor there.
That makes a lot of sense, though. That's actually makes a lot of sense.
It does. July 6th it comes out here, so we've got, what, like 2 weeks roughly at this point in time?
No, I mean, like the not go against the soccer games.
That's true. I mean, they care about it a lot more than we do here. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, God, I was actually just watching some stuff last night where like soccer players like fake those injuries, and it's obvious they're faking it.
Well, yes.
God,
Will, you know a lot about people faking it, though, I wager.
Sometimes it's me.
Oh, see, he got it back. Damn it. Damn it. All right, so let's talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp real quick.
Don't try to one-up me, you son of a bitch.
I'm sorry. I've learned my lesson. I will no longer try to one-up you, at least this week. Because I'm lazy and don't want to do it again. So Ant-Man and the Wasp had their premiere in Los Angeles late last week. The buzz coming out of it is that it's pretty damn good. Now, generally, most of the buzz you get coming out of these pre-screening events is pretty decent, but comicbookmovie.com has compiled a bunch of tweets that people had posted about it, giving some details. Let's see. Simon Thompson says, Ant-Man is my favorite Marvel movie. This is the sequel I'd been hoping for. I was grinning from ear to ear from start to finish. Irresistibly good fun. As exciting as it is funny. It looks, what does that mean? It locks along nicely and it's visually stunning. I don't understand what that meant, but whatever. Let's see. David Ehrlich says Ant-Man and the Wasp is probably the closest Marvel will get to, quote, nice core. There's no villain, just mild impediments and teamwork. I love teamwork. Everyone says quantum a lot, and they joke about how everyone says quantum a lot. It's funny. That's all good news.
Well, I mean, there's no villain. We know there's a villain. Ghost is in it.
Ghost is in it, but evidently they have overhyped what Ghost does, would be the impression I'm taking.
All right. Hold on a second. Who is Ghost? I didn't even know this was. I didn't from the trailer. I was like, I don't know who the fucking villain is.
It's that
who Ghost is an Iron Man villain mainly. It's a character who intangibility.
So she can
walk. Yeah, he in the books can walk through walls. In the movie, it looks like it's a female.
It is.
So it's Shadow Cat. That's what it is.
Yeah, but it's someone that uses that ability for industrial espionage. So she's going to be breaking into corporations and stealing like prototypes and stuff to sell to other corporations.
And you're saying they're beefing up her power set in the movie?
Seemed to indicate that.
I wanted to do what? Huh.
Well,
I guess I'll have to see the movie.
I imagine it has something to do with the quantum realm because they talk about in the trailer she stole a bunch of their gear and something about the quantum realm. So my guess is that she tags along on one of those trips and something happens there that makes her powers go all wonky or something like that.
And now can you remind me, when is the release date again?
July 7th in North America.
Oh, so really close by.
Well, we're a little less than 2 weeks out.
2 Fridays from now?
Yes. Let's see. Next up, Brandon Davis, a series of tweets says, Ant-Man the Wasp is strong on the humor, amazing on the visual effects, creative in size manipulation, and clever in its villains. Villains is in quotes, so we'll have to see what that means. Great.
Rhino's going to be in it.
It's Marvel's best sequel since The Winter Soldier.
Paul Giamatti's back.
Evangeline Lilly is one of my favorite new superheroes. Peyton Reed knocked it out of the park. Tremendous movie, and here's probably one of the most important things for folks to know. It has 2 post-credit scenes that you can't afford to miss. That is my guess into where it ties in with Infinity War, is one of those post-credit scenes.
Nice.
Oh, wait. So how many is it going to have?
2 post-credit scenes, it said.
So I'm going to see one mid or right at the beginning of it, somewhere like shortly after it starts.
And then right at the end.
Yep.
I cannot wait for one day there will just be no end credits scene. That would be hilarious.
Like they did in Avengers Age of Ultron?
There was none in that?
There was none in that. And we even said there was none, and we all stayed in the theater to see, and there was none.
Oh, shit. Well, never mind then. That was the day.
Yeah.
I missed it. I forgot all about it. I'm stupid. Well, you guys already knew that.
Well, that's fair. Kylie Erica Mars said Ant-Man the Wasp is cool and all, but the end credit scene is the best part of the whole film and the only thing I can think about right now. So let your speculation come into mind as to what that could mean. I don't know what it means, but I'm super intrigued at this point in time.
I don't have that good of imagination.
Let's see. Haley Fouch. I probably mispronounced that. I apologize. Dug the heck out of Ant-Man and the Wasp. Clever and charming with lots of heart. It's a bit exposition heavy, but otherwise a damn delight. One gag had me laughing so hard I was in tears, and the post-credits scene is easily one of Marvel's best.
I will say Ant-Man was probably the surprise hit from Marvel for me.
Yeah, no one expected anything out of it. They're like, oh, they're putting this out. This is going to be the first Marvel flop, and it wasn't.
And it was damn good.
I enjoyed it a lot as well.
Is it just weird that I have all these movies right here I can just grab on and we talk about?
I thought it was just
randomly?
part of your shtick.
No, I don't have them here I don't know we're going to talk about. I'm just like, oh look, here, let's talk about some Eastbound and Down. It's just right here. Hey, you remember that show everyone misses? Firefly.
Okay, Sailor Paul brings up a good point. A lot of people said Guardians was the one Marvel assumed they would flop with too. Guardians and Ant-Man were both ones people were scratching their heads on.
I was agreeing with you till I
risks.
saw that first trailer.
Fair.
I was like, what? Who the fuck are the Guardians of the Galaxy? Why are they wasting to do a movie about this? Why don't they do something I know?
And the biggest risk on that one was that even those of us like me who are comic book fans from the 80s and 90s who know who the Guardians are, the characters he used in that movie are not the fucking Guardians of the Galaxy. So that's what made it even more confusing.
Were they at the time though? Were they ever a team up before the movie? Those certain characters
of them had teamed up during the Annihilation series, but I don't think those 5 characters had ever actually been on a team before until after the movie.
Do you think we're gonna keep getting some more Miley Cyrus in the next one?
We can only hope.
I mean, ever since The Night Before, the best Christmas movie ever. So, or at least in my eyes, yeah, I was like, I like Miley Cyrus. She's okay. that cameo she had was great. And then you have Michael Shannon saying, "So how'd you like Miley Cyrus?" "Oh, she was great." "Man, you know you lying. She was fucking fantastic," or something like that.
Let's see. Here we go. This is a good one from CNN. Just saw Ant-Man and the Wasp. Does it answer the Infinity War question? Yes, and that's all they said.
What was the question? What's the question?
Presumably, who's going to dust, or if any of them dust. That's my guess.
Okay. Maybe he can maybe he can shrink down and turn to a single dust fragment, and then just I'm back, pop right back up.
A lot of these quotes in here are all just saying Evangeline Lilly's killing it in that, and that it's basically how, this is a good way of putting it, the perfect comic chaser to the doom and gloom of Infinity War. I've seen a few comments that are like, hey, Infinity War was dark, it left me feeling kind of sad. This brightened things up for me. I was feeling pretty good about it.
And let's not also forget that Evangeline Lilly almost left the first movie because of Edgar Wright.
That's true. I'd heard that as well.
Yeah,
but
after
she
the
read
doom
the
and
script.
gloom of Infinity War, we need Michael Pena. That's what we need.
But from what I read, she read the script after they updated after Edgar Wright and said, "I see where they're going. It makes sense. I'm going to keep on with it." I was like, okay. Although you could definitely feel the Edgar Wright in the movie.
All right, this is another good thing. It's got huge stakes, but never loses its smirk or the big heart at its center. So it sounds like this is going to be fun. It's going to be similar to Ant-Man 1 in regards to the fact it's kind of standalone. It exists in the bigger world, but it doesn't have to have huge connections and everything else. I'm totally okay with that. Of course, there's also a lot of theories this quantum realm tech that comes out of here is going to be used in Infinity War. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
And plus, it has Paul Rudd. I mean, Paul Rudd's excellent.
That is true. Paul Rudd is excellent.
Name me a Paul Rudd movie that you didn't like.
I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I'm sure there are some.
Don't you dare say that Halloween movie, because that was campy good.
I don't know. The one he was in was Halloween 6, where they made Michael Myers a baby.
Depends upon the version you watch, the producers or the director's version.
Yeah, that's probably is the worst movie he's ever done.
And for some reason,
I think it might have been his first movie.
Apparently, the producer's version is the one where Michael Myers is touching little kids.
Okay.
God, why'd they do that?
So here's a Paul Rudd movie I didn't like. Sausage Party.
Oh, is he a voice in Sausage Party?
He is a voice in Sausage Party.
Who's he the voice of?
It says Darren on his IMDb.
That's helpful. No, but
Darren
I mean,
the Sausage.
Sausage Party was okay.
Steven has a good one, Clueless.
I hate it. Whoa, I'm sorry. You can shut the fuck up right now. That's a great goddamn movie. You can go to hell right now, you son of a bitch.
It is
Great.
not a great.
It's a
movie.
great goddamn.
It was a good movie at the time. It is not a great movie.
I will go watch it today. God damn it!
I want you to watch
It's an
it.
American classic.
You need to watch it and live tweet it. # Willie watches Clueless or something like that.
Goddamn right. I will watch those
Hashtag
clueless
Clueless
love as
Willie.
the movie goes on.
Hashtag Clueless Willie.
There you go. # Clueless Willie. That's this week's
I'll do
episode
that.
title.
I will do that. I have
Do
some
it.
credits on Voodoo. I'll rent it. I don't give a fuck.
Do it.
Thank you, Team.
We expect a
giving me
report
the-
next week on your enjoyment that you got out of rewatching Clueless.
No, you have to follow me on Twitter at
Yeah, I
South
can
Porky.
see live
That's
tweeting
what you got to
today.
do.
And it also just costs you your Bell Buddy privileges. Ha 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 ha.
Don't care. Y'all can shut. He's the one that put clues. I don't care.
Wow, this got a
Clueless
contentious
is a
real fast.
great movie.
It is not a great movie.
I don't know about that, Willie. I don't know
It's a
about
tongue
that.
in cheek, and some people just don't get the genius. And you know what? I'm not even ashamed. I even watched the TV show.
There was a TV show?
Wasn't
There was a
Donald
TV show.
Faison in it?
I was gonna mention it. He's like the only returning character, or the guy who was in the movie playing his same character. He's the only one.
And then he went on to be Turk, which is a much better character.
I'll agree with that for sure, because Turk's just great.
Yeah,
The
so
best buddy hole angle was excellent. I can't deny that.
it really was. So Anthony, why don't you wrap us up on news?
Robert Kirkman wants more of your money. Actually, no, he got all the money already. People probably don't remember because the deal happened a while ago, but after the lawsuit that Kirkman, the other showrunners, some of the directors, and I believe some of the cast members now have started against AMC, basically stating that they're not getting paid as much as AMC is getting paid for The Walking Dead. Kirkman renegotiated a nice big contract with Amazon. So he has taken all of the Skybound stuff that he owns that's not already in production over to Amazon to basically give them first look rights to everything, kind of the way Mark Miller's doing with Netflix. So we are getting the first project coming out of the Amazon deal, and it's going to be an animated Invincible. So what we have so far from the Hollywood Reporter article is that while the film is set to be done at Universal with Seth Rogen and his buddy, was it Goldberg? I always forget
Adam
Goldberg's first
Goldberg.
name.
Adam, in it?
No, it's not Adam. That's why it always throws me off. Evan Goldberg.
Oh, Evan. God, I was off on that one.
Yeah, they're set to write and direct and produce an adaptation of the comic as a film, but now Amazon is going forward with an 8-episode, hour-long adult animated Amazon series that revolves around Mark Grayson, the teenager who stars in Invincible. So yeah, it looks like it'll be I'm hoping the first season, because it's one of those things where they just finished the book. The 12th hardcover just came out the other day. It's 144 issues. It took them over 15 years to do it. And there's no possible way you could tell that entire story in under like 5 seasons of television. There's far too much that happens. But it's also done well enough to where if they expand on it a little bit, like the first trade, like the first 5 or 6 issues, basically the first storyline, Team Teen, could totally make a great first season of television or the first film. So I'm really hoping that what we're going to get is basically an animated version of it and a live action version of it, and just see which one does better, I guess. The upside being that with it being on Amazon, it's being marked as like a YA property, even though it's also being called an adult animated. It means it's Amazon can put whatever restrictions on it they want, so it doesn't have to have any restrictions, which is good because in the first storyline arc in Invincible, an entire super team gets murdered. And they get murdered in bloody, gruesome fashion. And
Rated
so,
NC-17.
I mean, it could be. It's some vicious killing. But
Does that
it's
mean
one of
North
those
Carolina
things,
17?
yes, North Carolina 17. But yeah, it's one of those things where like it could be an extremely violent cartoon. Which it's funny too, because all the write-ups and all the articles about it, they talk about it being like the happy, bouncy, colorful superhero adventures that Kirkman did to offset the darkness of The Walking Dead. And that tells me everybody writing those articles never fucking read Invincible, because it's got some of the darkest shit in it. It's not a black and white comic book about zombies, but it's still there's some vicious stuff that happens in this book, and lots of vicious deaths. And of course, yeah, the one of the biggest fights ever is between two of the main characters, and that's right at the start of the story. So it's something where like it looks like it could be really good. There's a lot of really good names attached to it. What was it? It'll be produced by Kirkman Skymount, Simon Rocopia from Teen Titans set as showrunner, Kirkman Rocopia and David Alpert from The Walking Dead, Catherine Winder from Star Wars The Clone Wars are attached to executive produce, and Justin and Chris Copeland from Ultimate Spider-Man will serve as supervising directors. So you got a lot of good names attached to it. Amazon's throwing money at it, so we got to hope that the animation should be fantastic. It's just gonna be a question of how far do they push like the gore and the violence, because I mean there's gore and violence in it because it's a superhero book that Kirkman didn't put any restrictions on, and oddly has drawn probably the most bloodiest and gruesome superhero fights in comic book history. I can't think of another comic book artist that did more violent fight scenes, but it's also really cool. There's a part in the storyline where a group of characters punch a planet. Like, there's some batshit crazy funny concepts because it's superhero stuff kind of just turned on its head.
I can do that.
Yeah, but when you do it, the planet,
right now,
when you do it, the planet doesn't explode.
Well, you didn't add that little caveat.
Oh, that's what makes it a fun story. But yeah, I mean, for those that haven't read it, it's great because Kirkman, having grown up on comics, read Superman and Spider-Man and, all the cliche things that happen over and over again in the superhero comics because they're all second act. That's the whole point, is that, you get an origin story and then everything's second act because it never ends. And so his big thing about Invincible was that he never wanted it to fall into those tropes. So he used all those cliches and then turn them. Like, there's a huge story where a villain wins, and then the hero has to deal with the consequences of that and what it means for the real world when it actually makes the world a better place. There's a storyline where they do a reboot that isn't a reboot, and so they tackled the whole rebooting of a series. But it's one of the very few superhero stories that has a beginning, middle, and end. That's 15 years of continuity, but there's a solid start and end to this story. And so, yeah, it's really cool to see. We got the series coming out. If they do a season of it, it's my question is what's going to be in that first season, because it's 8 episodes. It could be the first trade. It could be the first 2 trades, like the first hardcover worth of 12 issues.
I think I might have missed if you said it. How many issues is it in total, like from beginning to end?
144.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's 12 hardcovers. Each of the hardcovers has 12 issues in it. If you want to pick those up, that would be I would say those are the best buy for your buck. The trades, I think there's 24 of them, and they're coming out with a 3rd compendium. So each compendium has roughly 50 issues in it. So there's multiple different ways to pick up the book, and it's also on Comixology. But yeah, it's one of my favorite comic stories ever. Yeah, it's just my only question now is seeing what they do with the Amazon 8 episodes. Is it going to be the first trade? Is it going to be the first 2 trades? I don't think Kirkman's crazy enough to let them try to fit the entire series into one season, because that would be batshit insane. There's issues that they could stretch out to 8 episodes if they wanted to that contain so much stuff going on. So I can't imagine that they're going to try to run through the whole thing in a season.
Well, it's Amazon, so they can play the long game because they've got money to spare on these things, and they do have little pet projects on here. So assuming it does well, they could just be, hey, we want to do 8 episodes to see people are interested. It's like an adaptation of the first book or 2.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's the first trade, maybe the first 2 trades. But yeah, you got to get the Guardians of the Globe in there and the teen team. Get Mark getting his powers, finding out who his dad is, or the audience find out who his dad is, and then seeing what happens with the first team up and stuff. If they do that over the course of the first series, that could be a really solid show. And yeah, I'll be interested to see how the animation looks, because we don't know. Through the article, I didn't see anywhere where they hadn't established which animation studio's doing it yet. So it says Amazon Studios is doing it as a franchise, but we don't know who's going to be actually doing the artwork. It's probably going to be being shipped off to Korea somewhere, like most of those studios do, but we don't know which studio is going to do it.
That's my wager, and I think we're too early on really to know anything at this point in time. It's just that a deal has been signed. That's as far as we've got.
Yep. So yeah, so I'm going to get a double dose of Invincible, and the best part is that, Charlie Adlard and Tony Moore have made a lot of money off the fact that Created by Walking Dead at the start of every episode has their names on it. And now Corey Walker and Ryan Otley are going to get them some motherfucking movie checks. So congrats to those guys. They're going to get paid.
I want to get some of those movie checks. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, you co-created a comic book. If it gets sold to a company like Amazon for a couple $1 million, you can get you a movie check.
Bachman, I might have an idea for a comic book if you want to be the illustrator.
I am not ready to draw an entire comic book.
It doesn't have to be well illustrated, just enough to get just enough to get a movie mogul.
Just enough to get that movie money.
You goddamn right. But I do have a good idea for some kind of story.
The problem is good ideas are a dime a dozen. Getting someone to actually write it, script it, draw it, ink it, color it, letter it, and print it.
Excuse me. I'll take that dime. Yeah. Before we go any further here, I saw what was going on in the chat, and yes, Pootie Tang was the fucking worst movie I've ever goddamn seen. It was the stupidest shit. Not even stupid funny.
So next week, hashtag Willie watches Pootie Tang.
I will never, ever watch Pootie Tang ever again.
Wow.
I do have one good thing to say about it, though. There was one little bit that actually got me the chuckle. And it was with Chris Rock and the other guy that's with him. You know, Chris Rock, they all do things like Chris Rock would be going, man, it's so hot out here, my sweat is sweating. It's so hot, I could fry an egg on my car. It's so hot, blah, blah, blah. Another guy goes, yeah, man, it's hot, too. Chris Rock would just look at him like, I just said all... What? Why are you even talking? That part did get me.
So it sounds like you need to rewatch it and let us know if anything else gets you.
No, I'll be watching Clueless. Remember, follow @SouthPorking on Twitter for all the updates. What was the hashtag?
Hashtag Clueless Willie.
You goddamn right, everybody.
That's Willie with an I-E, not a Y.
Of course, I'm no whale. I got plenty of those jokes in elementary school.
I wasn't even going to go there. Damn, I didn't even think about that.
Willie spelled like the country singer.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I was a fat kid in elementary school, and that movie was the worst thing ever.
Ever.
God, I wanted that fucking whale just to fucking die.
But you know what isn't the worst thing ever? That's the Gonna Geek Network, where we've got 25 plus different shows that make up the network that cover a variety of geeky and nerdy things. We've got some things that might focus on a specific television show, be it Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., The Flash, Arrow, other things that talk about video gaming or tabletop gaming or just general geek culture. There is all sorts of different content on the Gonna Geek Network, and there's absolutely no way that we can run it all down each week. But what we can do is say, hey, Willie, why don't you tell us about one of these shows? Tell us a little bit about why we should check it out.
First of all, I see there's a hashtag in the comments. I'm surprised you could see it with the shitty internet giving out the shitty quality of the camera with my shoulder hair. I'm a hairy man. I'm not gonna shave it. I'm just gonna let it be. But this week, I'm talking about the Operation Pug podcast. Pugcast 60, the E3 2018 cast. E3 came and went, and the Pugcast crew are back to bring you the roundup, as well as we address toxic fandom in Star Wars and review the delightful book Space Opera by Catherine Yen. Chris, is that right? Catherine
is what I would say.
Yeah, that's weird spelling. Catherine M. What is his name?
Valente.
Oh yeah, you were right. Valente. And so back to you. Wait. Whoa.
I gave you a second one. I'm giving you two this week because let's get a bunch of E3 shit in.
You goddamn right. Let's do this. Should I do a different voice? Give me a voice.
Canadian.
It's what I can do because I can do a good Canadian. I'm really scared about that whole country and getting angry.
Do British. I want to hear your British accent.
Also today, I am talking about the Digital Suit Podcast, episode 79. Expo of Entertainment Electronically. This week, the guys break down all the announcements of E3 2018 including listing the games that are most hyped about. Jason keeps interrupting everyone. Autumn makes a questionable joke. Dave won't stop talking about George Railroad Martin. And special guest Chris Farrell crashes the show with his own take on A3. Back to you, Chris.
Well, thank you, Willie. I'm glad you were able to share all of the E3 wonderfulness with everyone.
No. That was Union Jack Willie.
Union Jack Willie, we're glad you could join us today. I think. So, guys, go check out Digital Soup. Go check out Operation Pugcast. Go check out all of the other stuff that you can find over on the Gonna Geek Network. Just head on over to GonnaGeek.com, click on the network button, and we've got a boatload of content for you guys to go and check out. But looking at the time, it is time for us to start wrapping things up. If you're longtime listeners of the show, you probably know how we wrap up is a little bit called What I'm Into. It's our chance to share with you guys who are watching live or listening at a later date just what kind of geeky and nerdy things we've been getting into so that maybe, just maybe, you'll want to check it out for yourself. Willie, kick us off. What have you been getting into, sir?
Roller coaster rides.
And looking at his phone.
No, because I'm looking back at the reading. Yeah, someone spelled Roundup as Raound. The Roundup. I like that. I was just making sure I saw that. It made me laugh. I did see a movie on Netflix called They Hated. Don't watch it. Watch the trailer for it. Go on YouTube, watch the trailer. That's the best part of the movie, and it's actually pretty good. The rest of it is shitty. It's a horror movie, and they have it starts off in the 1968 or something like that, but that's the setup for it, and it takes 25 minutes for the setup. In this hour and a half movie takes place for the setup alone. And it's like, are you still doing this? This should be done by now. Why are you still doing this? It's terrible. But the trailer, it's just like one scene, is fantastic. Watch that. They should just do like a little short horror skit for that by itself. Jesus Christ, what else have I been doing? Oh, I finally got my What the Film in. I'm so happy about that. Yeah, you son of a bitch. You got a day after me, and I kickstarted the shit. Apparently, they weren't even supposed to even send it out from the Target thing, but you got lucky as a motherfucker.
Well, yeah, the guy emailed me when I purchased and goes, hey, you're our first person to purchase it online. I'm going to pass it off to our Kickstarter fulfillment group, and they'll get it to you. And I was like, cool.
And damn it, I had the plush right over here on the couch so I could reach it, but now I got to get up and go get it, so I'll wait for that till after the thing, and I'll just show it while someone else is talking. Yeah, my plush of the lethal chicken. It's a big one too. It's like,
have you gotten to play What the Film yet?
I have. I need to play it with different people because these people were not quite clever. That was a problem. I was giving gold.
It's not a game to play with dum-dums.
Yeah, I'm not gonna call them that though. That's mean. No. But my favorite thing, and no one voted for, it was best. Because you get a hand of 7 cards, and you choose like an actor card, which there should be characters, not actors, because they're describing a character, not an actor. Except for Paul Abdul, that's the one card I got. And that was a Kickstarter exclusive card too, for having like a stretch goal. They included a Paul Abdul card, so you have to choose a character, a hot set, aka a setting, location, whatever. And then they also have plot cards where you also have to include that plot. I had 2 of them that were gold. One of them got voted for, but the other one, I put down Tattoo Parlor, and I had Young Karate Master. I'll get to the plot card in a second. So I was like, all right, so there's this Tattoo Parlor starting up. It turns out that it's actually going through hard times. It's soon to be closing down because they just aren't making the money. So the owner, he has to go to the bank to ask for a loan. And, he's hat in hand, just ready just to, try and make it work. When all of a sudden my plot card happened. There's a bank heist going on at the same time, or a bank robbery, not heist. So he's sitting in the lobby just waiting, to talk to the loan officer. And all of a sudden, put your hands up. And then he has to fight all of them one at a time. He takes them out one at a time. I thought that was a gold one because he's also a young karate master.
That's kind of
That
cool.
was a good. I know. I thought that was one of my best ones, and then the other one was I had the setting was a parade, so I was like, all right, we're starting off on a parade. Let's just say William H. Macy Parade.
William H. Macy Parade.
I just came up with that too. So let's just do that. Yeah. It's in his hometown, the William H. Macy Parade. So you got your Garfield balloon going by, your SpongeBob balloon, whatever. And then we focus in on. I even gave an actor for this one. We focused in on a mime being played by Mr. Bean, and he's just doing his whole miming thing. And then the plot car comes in. He has to survive an alien invasion. Aliens start coming down as the parade's going on, and then somehow during all this chaos, he gets just think like Live Die Repeat, or was the Edge of Tomorrow? Live Die Repeat. It's a better title, even though they're going with it for the sequel. Yeah, so think about he somehow accidentally gets zapped by this alien ray. He doesn't die from it. He gets telekinetic powers. So all his miming actually turns real. He throws a rope on one of them, and he starts pulling them. I call it Silent Rage.
It's not bad. You do know you only have 36 seconds in the game to explain
Yeah,
this.
fuck
right?
that 36-second thing. That's stupid. Why is it 36, though? Where do they get 36?
I don't know
Why
where they got that
35 or 40. Is it like something with the Oscars or something I'm missing?
I have no idea. All I know is that it's only 36 seconds you technically get, which makes the game brutally tough on occasion because you're like, oh, I'm out of time. Shit.
Oh, I do have Happy Death Day over there too, everybody. Oh, and I don't know if everyone saw,
Same
since
time.
it was also mentioned in the thing. Freddy Got Fingered right here.
Willie, I never doubt that you're going to have movies on hand when we discuss them.
On my Freddy Got Fingered hand.
But do you have Basket Case?
Oh, no. I've actually never seen that one.
Worst movie ever.
I'll agree. That's the one where he's having his little brother or something? It's all like
And
a
it's
mutated thing, like a
claymation.
picnic basket.
And it's claymation.
And it's some of like a puppet sometimes, but when he's like moving out of the basket, it's like
Yeah.
claymation.
It's
but inside like a
goddamn
puppet.
awful.
Right?
Yeah, it's the worst movie ever made. It's worse
Yeah,
than Pootie Tang. It's worse than Freddy Got Fingered. It's awful.
Now, there is one saving grace of Freddy Got Fingered. There is one saving grace, and that's Rip Torn. He's a goddamn national treasure. Especially in dodgeball. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
He was great
I'll
in that.
allow it.
What? Bam!
He was great in that. Fucking smacking bitches in the face with wrenches.
You can dodge traffic, you can dodge a ball. That's a good Rip Torn, though, isn't it?
That's all right.
It's okay. We'll just do it okay. So what? Anything else you been getting into, Willie?
Next week, I'll be getting into the reading of the podcast network. I'll be doing Rip Torn voice.
Oh, shit.
You goddamn right.
Alright, so I'll go next. What I've been getting into, Naki will continue to be proud of me. I've been watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I am on episode 18 of season 2 now, so I have burned through a good chunk of it in the last week and a half I've been watching it. I really like it. The first 2 episodes that I originally watched and then quit after that, had I stuck around to episode 3, I probably would have stayed on board with that show. It's just it didn't hook me, and there was too much other stuff I was watching at the time. So, yeah, it's got me now. I'll watch it, and I'll be able to watch the final season when they show it on NBC. What I've been playing video game-wise, Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition on the Switch right now. It's been pretty fun.
Have you ever played the Dynasty Wars games?
It's basically Dynasty Warriors. with
I know,
Zelda
but have you ever
characters.
played those games?
No, I had not.
Okay, because I've played that because I wanted to play that game, so I was like, but I don't have the Switch or Wii U, so I'll try to just get the Dynasty Warriors. I want to play that type of game. I'm not liking that type of game at all. Like, I'm not sure if they change it up for if it's any kind of different play style in that one.
Well, they changed it so there's 2 different two different control schemes you can do. There's the Zelda control scheme and there's the Dynasty Warriors control scheme, basically, which just basically has your buttons mapped to those respective games. I will say I've enjoyed the Hyrule Warriors one because they took all the DLC and all the unlocks and stuff from the previous versions of it and tossed it in there, and they also set it so that your Link can wear the tunic and the Breath of the Wild costume, which is kind of cool.
Now, because I remember playing the Dynasty Wars, and it seems like it tells you to go to this location. As soon as you get there and you're trying to fight, you're saying, well, there's a problem in this location now. Like, I'm still working on this location. Why you tell me all this?
It's the exact same thing like that. And the nice thing is if you've got a couple heroes on the board, you can then go in and command them to go to that other location. So as soon as you're done, you can swap to that other hero and then take care of it yourself.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you can do that in the Dynasty Warriors. The version I have, I think it's 8. I'm not sure. There's a lot of those damn things.
I haven't gotten a ton of the way through it because each level takes a little bit of time, but there's one where I had 4 heroes on screen at the same time. Like, you're getting attacked by this giant dragon. If you can put all 4 to attack at the same time, you get all these bonuses. So I had like Link, Impa, a magician, and I can't remember the 4th character, but they're all main characters. They were just in there wailing on this guy, and you're getting all of these bonuses because you have all 4 heroes in the same squares, basically. So like full magic and stuff like that. It's pretty cool if that's your kind of, if you like the Dynasty Warriors games and things like that, go check it out.
What's the genre of that game? It's like starts with an M. Mushu, I think.
I have
Isn't that the genre?
no idea. And evidently I've missed out on some division in it because Sailor Poland said the most recent ones are a lot different than the original Dynasty Warriors games. Evidently there's a fierce division in the fandom over Dynasty Warrior games.
I think that's what the because that genre does have a title, and I think it's Mushu or something like that. It starts with an M. It does start with an M, I'm pretty sure. Someone in the chat let us know.
I don't know.
Make Willie right.
A couple other things I've been getting into. Like Willie said in the promo reads, I guest hosted on the Digital Soup podcast this week. It was a lot of fun. Those guys run a really tight ship there. I mean, the great show notes, things like that. It makes it really easy to go in there and guest host on because you're like, oh, this is everything that's expected of me. This is awesome.
And yeah, I'm a little hurt about that, guys. A little hurt.
Wow.
You're talking to the video game guy right here. Better than Chris.
Well, you're still coming back from Los Angeles.
A little hurt. Very hurt.
I see how
you were on a roller coaster. You were on a roller coaster. They couldn't get hold of you.
One day. What day did you record that, Chris?
That was on Monday night because Gonna Geek was canceled.
I was home doing nothing.
Well, sorry.
Oh, wait. Let me just jump in. I almost forgot right quick. I'm sorry, Chris. I was also a guest on a podcast this week, too. I completely forgot about. I was a guest on Legends podcast as we talked about Jurassic Park.
Well, see? You got to guest on one show. I got to guest on one show. I think it's fair.
Yeah, but video games. That's
video
my
games.
thing.
You got dinosaurs.
I would have. Well, no, I wouldn't switch with you because I love beef. You hear me, beef? I love you.
He loves you, beef.
John Lobster.
Last thing I got into is on Thursday on my way home from work. I stopped at Toys R Us where they had a sign up that said 8 days left. Man, it's a barren wasteland. Our local Toys R Us. Everything was 60 to 80% off. There were a couple little things I picked up. I did get myself one of those little micro drones. Ironically, when it broke was when I landed it correctly. I flew it like 3 or 4 times. It crashed and wiped out crazy. And I could fly it again, no problem. The one time I land it properly, and I go and start it up again, now all it does is it lifts up and then just flies backwards into a wall. And I'm like, the fuck happened to this thing?
How much was it?
I paid a whopping $9 after the discount.
Go get another one.
They only had like 3 or 4 of them left, so I will go and see this week. I did say I'm going to try and go back to Toys R Us on Thursday or Friday for one of the last couple days just to say farewell to a part of my childhood that is disappearing.
So could you say when you walked in, you saw people picking up the scraps of Jeffrey the Giraffe?
Pretty much. I mean, yeah, it's a shame.
Bunch of hyenas.
Really, that's the case. And if you've gone and looked at some of the background on what happened here, it's not because the business was unsuccessful. It's because people bought them out and put a bunch of debt on the company, and the company could never recover from it. However, Toys R Us Canada was saved, so maybe I'll just go to Canada and see Toys R Us.
You know what wasn't saved in Canada? Target. Yes,
get out of my head! You son of a bitch!
Get out of mine! You weren't gonna say it. I started saying it.
You son of a bitch! You're in my head right now, and it scares the shit out of me.
That's what you get when you're part of the Bald Brotherhood.
The Bald Bearded Brotherhood, Triple B, man.
Well, we can't because Better Business Bureau already has a copyright on that one.
Son of a bitch. All right. Well, I got
We're
nothing
the
else.
Better Business Bureau.
I got nothing else. What do you got going on, Bachman?
See, I got caught up watching a bunch of stuff. Catch up a bunch of the movies I missed. I watched The Strangers Pray at Night. One of the upsides of that one is what's the girl's name? Bailey Madison. As a young actor, like she was a little kid on an old episode of House. She's been in a ton of stuff, and this is the first movie I've seen her as a teenage actress. So it's kind of cool because I've seen her in so many different films and TV shows, and now see her in a horror film. It's kind of cool to see how she's aged. But yeah, that movie actually wasn't that bad. It's another one of those just random weirdos in masks show up and start killing people for no reason. It was just crazy slasher film. I watched Hurricane Heist just because, well, why not? It was just as dumb as it sounds. But Ryan Quantain is always hilarious, so I enjoy watching him in movies. Like it had some fun parts in it.
Did somebody get smacked in the head with a stop sign?
No, but
Or was it an actual hurricane?
Yeah, it's an actual hurricane.
Okay, like a Sharknado.
Yeah, it's that concept. It's like, hey, let's take a weather event and a different type of movie and shove them together in the worst title we can think of. But yeah, it was nowhere near as bad as a lot of people said it was. I finally watched the new Tomb Raider with Alicia Vikander. That was pretty entertaining. I thought the plot was a little lacking, but the movie itself was built really well. Like, and then the traps and stuff that they set up on the island were really cool on the actual tomb that they go through in this movie. And she's fantastic in it. Like, she was a badass. They did a really good job making her fights look realistic. Like, she wasn't some superhero. She was, an average size, early 20s female that was learning how to fight and could fight as well as that. She wasn't like a superhero. So yeah, that one was pretty entertaining. And then I watched between I left work early on Friday, and between Friday and Saturday I watched all of Luke Cage season 2.
I need to do that.
Yeah, it's fucking fantastic. It follows the Jessica Jones thing, where from the start of episode 1 of season 2 of Luke Cage to the last episode, the entire show is completely different. The entire cast is changed. Luke's entire worldview is different. It's another one where the whole fucking thing gets flipped on its head by the last episode.
I do have a question. Is there any point in watching Jessica Jones season 2 before I watch this one?
No, it's not necessary.
Is there any kind of crossover with what happens in that season 2?
Not with her. Like, I think she's only mentioned once, and the incidents from the Defenders are mentioned a couple of times, of course, with Misty's arm. The upside is that you do get the Daughters of the Dragon episode. You get one episode of motherfucking Power Man and Iron Fist, which I was only sad that it was one episode, because I got to be honest. What's his name? Finn Jones. He has done the smartest thing ever since basically we all give him shit about the first season of Iron Fist. Instead of getting online and saying, he's trying and blah, 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 that motherfucker's been in the dojo. He has been learning how to make his fighting on screen look better. It looked better in Defenders, and it looks better in this episode of Luke Cage. That's basically, there's one episode, him and Luke basically attack a bunch of guys in a warehouse, and it is fucking fantastic. It's not the best fight choreography I've ever seen, but it looks really good. And so, yeah, I was highly impressed. Like, they've worked really well with him to make his on-screen fighting look better. Like, it looked like a team up of Power Man and Iron Fist from the comics. Like, it was really entertaining.
Heroes for goddamn hire.
Heroes for hire. And they go into that concept a lot in this season. And then one of the best things is, of course, Luke Cage. When they did the first season, they talked about it, like the creator and the showrunner talked about setting up like an album to where they had a different artist and a different track for every episode. They do the same thing again with this season. Got a lot of big names this year. Motherfucking KRS-One is in it. Ghostface Killer's in it. Faith Evans and Jadakiss show up. Stephen Marley's in it. Who is it? Fucking Rakim's in it. But what I was shocked by was a name I hadn't heard before. Episode 4, there's a guitarist named Christone Kingfish Ingram, an 18-year-old blues prodigy who garnered attention at the age of 15 after he played at a White House party with the Delta Blues Museum Band, and is currently gearing up to release his debut album. When that album comes out, I will be buying it. This fucking kid plays guitar better than almost anybody I think I've ever heard.
Ooh.
And it's fantastic. His singing's great. The band was great in the episode, but it's this fucking kid wailing on the guitar, and he fucking, like, he's like a genius. The way this kid plays is insane. So yeah, I mean, at least if you're not going to watch Luke Cage, just fucking skip to episode 4 and watch the sequence where there's a band playing on the stage, because oh my god, it is some of the most impressive guitar playing ever. Like, it is that good.
Now,
yeah.
What's the bad guy's name? Is it Bushmaster?
Bushmaster.
Now, isn't there also a character in the Punisher series called Bushwhacker?
Maybe.
Because I remember playing this game, The Punisher, for the PS2. And I think it was Bushwhacker, and he had like
No, I
guns
thought
for
Punisher
hands.
fought. I thought Punisher fought Bushmaster, but it could be Bushwhacker.
But this character has he has guns for arms. Like he can like transform his arms.
Oh
into
yeah,
guns.
yeah. That's a guy. Yeah, he actually, he makes guns out of his limbs. Yeah, that's Bushwhacker.
Yeah, that was a weird game, but I loved it. Oh, it was such a good game.
Yeah, and the actor that plays Bushmaster, I can't think of his name, but he's fantastic. He's throughout most of the season.
Thank God.
Yeah, he's really good. And honestly, the fights with him and Luke Cage are much better than the fight with Diamondback. So you have that to look forward to.
That first season starts going downhill when Cottonmouth dies.
Yeah.
God, that season starts going downhill after that because that first half with him as the villain, he was the better villain.
Yeah, the Diamondback thing ended up being a little lacking, but they address a lot of that in the second season. And Mariah is clearly the villain all through the second season as well. She does not stop. She was Cottonmouth's
Oh yeah.
The councilwoman.
Cousin was a sister? It was a cousin?
Cousin. And she is batshit crazy all through this show and fantastic. Yeah, Alfre Woodard, who plays Mariah Dillard.
Yeah, I did watch the trailer and I remember saying, "Oh, she's back." Oh, okay.
Yeah,
she's in that same club.
Yep.
Because you got Piggy with the crown still in the background.
Yeah, it's Mustafa Shakir plays John Bushmaster McIver. Mustafa Shakir is a badass actor. He is fucking great as Bushmaster. In the preview, it looked like it was going to be kind of a limited character where he wouldn't get to do much. He's throughout the season and fucking fantastic. He's a great villain because they did kind of the Killmonger thing with him. He has a reason for what he's doing. He's not just an asshole. There's a reason behind everything he's doing in Luke Cage, which makes him a much more convincing villain because you get his backstory and you see why he's doing everything. So yeah, he's a fantastic villain. And
yes.
And Theo Rossi, fucking Juice from oh god damn it, the motorcycle show.
Sons of Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy. Fucking Theo Rossi as Shades. He is great in the season as well.
That's right. He was in that. That's where I remember him from. Yep. I was like, that guy's so familiar. I know I saw him in something.
Yeah, he was Juice from Sons of Anarchy. But yeah, he's fantastic in the season as well. It's it turned out really, really good. I like season 2 of Luke Cage better than season 1. I thought season 1 was fun, but season 2 was much better constructed, and the overall story works better from start to finish. It's really good TV. So yeah, I would highly recommend it. Everybody go watch that shit. And then I found out the talks of the Pacifist Kickstarter are being delayed and shit's getting slowed down and blah blah blah. So that probably won't be happening next month. So I'm going to finish working on mine and get my next sketchbook up and ready to run. So I will hopefully have a Kickstarter to announce next Sunday.
Nice. So keep that in mind, folks.
Yeah. But that's what I've been getting into.
All right, guys. Well, I think that is going to wrap us up then. Don't forget, we stream live every Sunday, live here on Geeks.live. Well, like all the other stuff on the Gonna Geek Network. So feel free, head on over to Geeks.live, check out the schedule of events. There's a bunch of other shows coming up. I believe we have Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. at 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Eastern, Starling Tribune, and then at 9 p.m. tonight, Pop X Cast. In addition to the Gonna Geek show tomorrow, guys, there's live content all the time. Just come on over to Geeks.live and check it out for yourself. Before we shut this thing down, you guys have any final thoughts for us?
Digital Soup Podcast. If you want a real gamer on your podcast,
call Naki.
I'm sorry. Who has the bigger backlist of games they don't play? Who has the bigger backlist?
You mean she owns more games than you? Is that what I heard?
I mean, who has played more
games live more than you? Is that what I heard?
I can't stream. Otherwise, I would. I would be streaming Jackbox every Sunday after this podcast.
Digital Soup, you heard it. I want to hear a Naki guest on your next episode.
Oh, you sons of bitch! There was a split. Remember, they were Team Naki and Team Willie, and I think Team Willie won it on that show.
I don't remember.
Yeah, we'll see.
Remember, and also everybody, don't forget about #CluelessWillie.
So don't forget, Willie just threw down the gauntlet. He's going to rewatch Clueless, and he's trying to threaten his way on to the Digital Soup podcast.
Threaten? I didn't threaten nothing. I said, hey, if you
We'll
guys want
see
a
you guys
real
next
gamer,
week. Bye, guys.
a real gamer.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this brand new episode of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Don't forget, we'll be back next Sunday live at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over at live.atgnpodcast.com, channel 3 of the Awful Geek radio app, and over at our network home at gonnageek.com/live. If you have any feedback for the show, please contact us atgnpodcast@gonnageek.com, on our hotline number at 304-806-ATGN, or even better, go to Twitter and send us a message at ATGN Podcast. The music you've heard in this show is produced by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at incompetech.com.